Hello, everybody. It is great to be here again today. And my name is Gary Fowler, and I am the CEO, president, and co founder of GSD Venture Studios, a premier AI and quantum venture studio located in Silicon Valley. It is with great pleasure today that I get a chance to introduce my guest, Araz Mamet. He is the CEO of Yva.ai, has an incredible background, has come all the way from Baku, Azerbaijan, studied at the Moscow State, MGU, all the way to Los Angeles, California. So with that, I'd like to bring Araz on. Araz, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good, Gary. How are you? Thank you.
Yeah, good.
Thank you for inviting.
Yeah, it's great to be here. So you studied at Moscow State University.
Yep.
Yeah, I lived over in Moscow. I studied at Moscow State for a couple of years and lived in the Obshashidi and Prospect for Notskovo.
37.
Yep.
Exactly.
Right across from
That is my dorm as well. So I used to live there for 5 years. I started to learn for the first years the communist crap they taught us over there because it was during the Soviet time. And then I was like in the middle of my education, there was like a collapse of Soviet Union, and they started to teach me the quite opposite things. I was like totally messed. Like, guys, months ago you told me communism is good, and now you're saying communism is bad. Well, that was my experience, from Moscow State University. But I'm glad. I mean, it's history. I learned history, so political science was my next education already in Britain. And yes, and I'm a big fan of political series, different kind of, approach. I like it, but I'm not using it.
You went to school in Baku, Azerbaijan, right?
Yes, during the Soviets, yes.
How was that?
It was good. I went to Russian language school, so technically at that time Russian was like English in the United States, like everybody spoke Russian. Yeah, and now I can say the country's changed. Like now it's like mostly like a local language studying, mostly English, of course, because a lot of information on English. Yeah.
Now it's amazing. So tell me a little bit about it. So how in the world, so you got your Masters of Arts and you went to Los Angeles Film School. What made you decide to go to film school?
Oh, film school, it was my passion from childhood. I mean, middle-age crisis situation, and you're thinking like you have to turn to things like you always dream about. And I went to that school and graduated. I'm very happy because I got my entry ticket to the Hollywood. I worked for a number of different companies, production companies, met different interesting people there. It was quite a good experience for me. But I'm still in movie as well. I mean, I never give up with my dream.
Oh, that's amazing. So what are you doing? What kind of movie stuff are you doing today?
Today, nothing. I'm just mostly involved with Yva.ai, as you know. This is mostly about my other passion, which is politics, as I said, because what we're trying to do is Yva.ai, some kind of a support in effective areas where the government cannot provide legit and affordable services to people. Yeah.
And so, going down through this process, you went to Azercell as an advertising manager. Then
Yes.
when did you move to LA? When did that occur?
It was in 2008, almost 14 years ago.
14 years ago. What made
Yep.
you decide? Did one day you just wake up and say, "Oh, I'm going to do it"?
No, honestly, I realized that I already reached the toppest, like highest level of what I can do in this country. And I kind of lost interest to what I'm doing. Like, this burning situation when you're kind of disappointing. And also country was not good for entrepreneurs like me. I mean, it's a corruption, it's a monopoly, it's a family controlled everything. So basically for me, it was like unacceptable. And also I realized that for my kids, it would be better if they will get the education and grow up in, son who was 5 years old, but he's already Angelenos is like a grown up in LA doing music. And I'm very happy that I made that decision a long time ago.
Wow, that's amazing. And What's this? You started the company called Amaze Pictures. What's that all about?
It was actually a film production company. Yes, so that's the company I established first in United States. Yeah, and with aim to make co-productions with the former Soviet Union countries, and yeah, that that the company I ran for 10 years, I guess.
Okay, and then you moved into Wow Virtual Reality. What was that about?
Yeah. Wow, virtual reality. It's I actually was lucky being in LA when this virtual reality thing started, like early, very early stages, like the prototype level. And at that time, I was introduced to VR, and I realized this is like because I was in the film, and film industry and VR, it's like very connected areas. So I realized that this is a good opportunity for us, and I set the company. We created the VR box called the brand name for virtual reality headset, and that's also we created a number of contents, including we shot in 2012, I believe, 10 years ago, no, 8 years ago, 2014. We shot on VR on the camera, which just was prototyped by Nokia. It was called Ozo. Ozo. I don't know. Some people who knows the subject matter, yeah, they remember that Ozo camera. It was
Yeah, sure.
prototyped and was in LA for the first time, and I borrowed this camera to shoot a big event. It's a Michael Jackson tribute in during the CES. We shot that show, and it was incredible footage from it. It's like a standing with Jackson's Five, like the camera was like number five guy in a band, and it's like experience as if you're on a stage, as singing with
Wow.
Jackson's
And so
Five.
you were
Yeah.
right there with Michael Jackson.
Yes, unfortunately, we can't publish it because the rights and everything to that Michael Jackson's music, that's it's controlled by Jackson Estates, and it's very tough to get it. But
Did you
we
get
have this
to,
footage.
did you get to talk to him, Araz? Did you talk to Michael Jackson?
I never had chance to talk to him, but I'm very good friend with his alleged son. He's a good friend of mine, like a brother.
His alleged son?
Yes, Brandon Howard. So you can check on Google. He's like a
Interesting.
yeah, it's like a copy of Michael Jackson. Like that literally looks like Michael, literally speaks like Michael, dance like Michael, sings like Michael. So you can check it.
It's, that's amazing. Well, I've never heard that before. Thanks for that
Oh
tidbit
yeah.
of information. Okay,
Well,
so
that story all in by NDA, covered, protected, so family is not disclosing a lot of things. But who knows that knows? I mean, everybody who knows this guy knows that he's very connected to the family. He's a member
interesting.
of Jackson's. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so tell us about eGree and how you got started with eGree. You've been in business since 2020. What's happened
Yeah.
with the eGree today, and where are you with it?
Well, Agree was inspired by all this Hollywood experience. Honestly, it started with actually my experiences with private parties. We went actually with Brandon. He introduced me to many famous, celebrities who had the parties at their places, and
And he
like
knows them.
yes, he knows them very well. Yeah, he's a very good friend with almost celebrities. He's a guy who, like, 1 degree to anyone for me. Like, if I
Wow.
ask him, like, give me a phone, well, for Jamie Foxx, for example, he can hand me this phone and give a reference. Yeah, so we went to many events, and I noticed that people signing on the paper this NDA agreements, like and it's a big line of people waiting for that. I was like,
They go. They
why?
to go to a party. They sign NDAs.
Yeah.
Why?
Because of social media, they don't want to disclose the things happening there. They don't want to. They come for relax, enjoy. They don't want to be spoiled in some like drunk or whatever. I mean, nobody likes that, and especially celebrities.
I bet
So
it
yeah,
must be interesting though, right? Once those NDAs are signed, everybody can do whatever they want.
well, honestly, yes and no. Well, it depends on the person. Some persons can do whatever they want without NDA. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, but it's kind of organizing people, giving them feeling of responsibility for what they're doing, and yeah, I noticed that it's not effective. I mean, this guy's lines, waiting, security's checking you signed or not, And then I was like, guys, I asked Brandon, why don't we make like something like simple, like people sign it on the phone and coming to the place and entering without waiting and stuff like. Also, other things inspired me. All this, situation about cancel culture, Me Too, all that stuff. People
Well, I mean,
feel
the thing is, I
unprotected.
don't know, I don't know how you go on a date these days and like feel safe.
Exactly.
On
Yeah.
both sides of the fence. How would you know going out? I mean, you don't want to have challenges. How do you know, right?
Yes, it's a lot of cases you can Google like careers, lives of actually normal people has been ruined by, we call them gold diggers or whatever. I'm not saying all women are gold diggers, but women nowadays,
And it could be
that
guys too, Araz. You know what I mean? It could be guys that are the digging, right?
yes, guys digging, girls digging, doesn't matter. Like people like called gold diggers who has like a target. They select celebrities as a target and uh, doing their
Araz,
job.
have you seen that? You're in Hollywood a long time. Have you seen that kind of stuff?
Oh, of
Yeah.
course, a lot. Believe me.
And do the celebrities know it?
Yes, for example, in case of Brandon, every time like when I witnessed that he dating new girl in his life, I mean, when he met someone, he used to take her to the family lawyer and sign an NDA. And I
Yeah.
believe in his case, it's a crucial, it's very important.
Huh.
Maybe it sounds ridiculous in my case, but I'm not celebrity. But in his
Well, I
case,
mean, you never know these days, right? You
oh
never
yeah,
know.
yeah, and I have a now 20 years old son. Believe me, uh, like. I can tell you that it's like the new generation that they're coming, and they're all grown up, and they saw all these stories, and they're very cautious about this meeting people, dating people, which is absolutely abnormal because you never know what will happen to you in the next 30 years and how this person will behave toward you and where you will be. Like you can be rich, or you can be famous, or you can be politician, and then you can be blackmailed by some people who just want to ruin your life.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. So you work with celebrities, and now how did you decide? How do you get this to the global market?
Well, let me tell you about the Igri. Igri actually came from my experience with the lawsuits we had with to protect our VR box brand name we created. The product we created was actually counterfeit, sold on Amazon, and we tried to settle with Amazon, unfortunately, but then we went to litigation, and eventually we settled. But during this process, this is my partner and co-founder of Igri, Keith Fraser. I told him like, Keith, there's a lot of things we can make it simplify. I mean, simplify because I have a tech background as well, and I saw that the system is good, but it's good for 100 years old America. I mean, like back to 100
Right,
years old,
right.
but not now. It's not answering to modern realities, and it's slow. It's a, let's call it basically we are living in digital world, but we are using analog systems in crucial moments of our life, and then justice, and it is very important for everybody. It's not like just yeah, it's intangible, it's not money, it is not food, it's not clothes, but it is in the basic human needs to get access to justice. That's why we have this governments, borders, passports, everything. It's served for that goal because we are giving part of our freedom to the government, but we have to receive the service, the justice delivered to
Right.
the door. Unfortunately, honestly, during that process, when I spent a lot of money, honestly, this money I received from Amazon settlement all went basically to cover legal expenses mostly. But I believe that it could be, the system is broken, the system is corrupted, and we need to do something with that. And I believe right now, for example, United States, it's a situation, it's getting more worse because of the COVID, the courts closed, and a lot of cases. By the way, it's very interesting. A TV show about, kind of referring to that situation called The Good Fight. The last season, it's actually exactly about what I'm saying now. It's like the country needs to set up something, provide the justice, and through technology.
Yeah, no,
Otherwise,
I like it. How's business, by the way, Araz? How's business these days?
business is fine. We are trying to raise the seed plus round right now, negotiating with number of potential investors. And what we are planning to build for the next stage, we, as you know, we built already like a contract area, that part is covered. So anyone can make the contracts within the IGRI. And now we want the money to build this.
What kind of
The
contract? So just for the audience, tell them what's available today.
Well, we have about more than 20 different firms covering basic areas of ordinary average guy's activity, daily things. Like, for example, let's say you want to buy something, a purchase agreement, you can make it. You want to hire a handyman for your house to do something, you can make it. You're lending money, you're betting, or dating, or sexting, things like that.
What really? So what's it?
Oh
What do you
yeah.
mean? What's a sexting contract? I'm very
Well,
curious.
sexting contract, it's a very good contract because nowadays it's another protection for people who sometimes don't think about future and sending their nude or whatever pictures to others, and then it became like blackmailing
Yeah,
or
then it
revenge
comes
porn
out of
situation.
me. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly, that's the tool for you to backfire that person. And in this case they cannot say, oh, I didn't know that I can't publish it on whatever. I didn't know. No, you knew that, you signed that, and you're responsible for that. So this is some kind of tool to backfire. So, and you have that feeling of protection that you can backfire, and that other person also knows that, okay, I have something on paper, I have something signed, and I'm responsible for that. So you will think twice before you will publish or do some stuff like that. Yeah. And
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
sexting.
I think it's real. It's really good. You got a lot of these politicians that have gotten in trouble for doing those kind of things, and celebrities, right, have
Oh
sent
yeah,
stuff out, and it gets published all over the place. Well, the other
exactly.
problem is they get hacked, right? You get hacked. Somebody may send you something, but gets hacked, and
Well,
that's a big one.
let's leave that for the court. The court will decide if it's action of hack or whatever. But
Yeah,
again, I mean, it's very important nowadays to feel protected, especially in this digital madness we have. It needs to be organized somehow.
yeah. No, I agree. I mean, it's interesting. So we're coming up to the top of the show. Tell us about, what do you see for Agree over the next 5 years, next 2 years, and 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 in terms of the raise, how do people get a hold of you in case they're interested in investing?
Well, it's a good question. My vision of IGRI, uh, I want IGRI. I see IGRI as a global resource providing justice, providing uh, uh, um, tools, utility tools to ordinary average guy to protect own interests. I'm not talking. Many people calling us legal tech. In fact, we are not. We are not legal tech. Because legal tech, traditional legal tech supports existing legal. We don't want to. We don't want to serve existing legal system. We want to build a new one from the scratch. And I believe it's doable. I believe it's rational, and I believe it's possible. And without any jurisdiction, any ties to jurisdiction, governments, countries, locations, lawyers, courthouses, etc. Global community can make global agreements on a simple language. We intentionally avoiding, I call it bird language, like lawyers
Yeah,
using complicated words. You just need to go to vocabulary to find out what it means. Like, uh, yeah, my theory, and I believe it is true. This is some kind of lawyers' justification of their job. Lawyers in the big industry, they are interested to make this area as close as possible to guys to manage their cases because they will lose the money. And well, and in US it's overpriced, the services, that
right, right.
500
So,
$600 an hour.
so if
Excuse me.
somebody's like in Florida and the agreement's written in California, how enforceable are those agreements? If you
That's the whole point. We need to build. That's what we're planning to do. We already have a blueprint for that product. It's called Arbitrium, and Arbitrium, that's going to be let's call it dispute resolution center. So the place where people having conflict around certain things in a contract they signed with agree or without actually could find the solution and get the justice, which they can use if they want the enforceability. They can print it out, take it to the court, rubber stamp, and then they have arbitration judgment, which is absolutely enforceable in terms of the existing. But what we want to do to avoid even that step and provide the enforceability within the app, so you don't need to go to the court and you can accomplish everything at the app, and including enforceability and even to get rewards, because we want to build. We want to build a big community where people will support, donate, and like GoFundMe kind of things, variety of cases. And also nowadays, enforceability from reputation point of view. I mean, nobody wants to lose own reputation, and reputation certainly worth of something. Well, for most people, I'm not saying about 1% of scammers and dirty people. They're always everywhere, but the vast majority of people, they care about their reputation, and reputational loss will be also valued.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. So how do people, investors that are interested in investing, how much you're looking to raise right now, and how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, right now we're raising $3.5 million. And the evaluation for that, it's like $20 million evaluation, $3.5 million raising. Yeah.
Got it. All right, super. So, and how do people get a hold of you? What's the best way to get a hold of you? LinkedIn, Facebook?
Well, yeah, LinkedIn, Facebook, WhatsApp, anything. I am available 24/7 for people, for those who was interested to do this. Let's support that.
I think it's it's amazing, Araz, and you say celebrities own it today, correct?
Oh yeah, we actually have celebrity investors in this project. So, for example, Natalia Vadenova, she is one of the top, famous top model.
Like number two, she's from Nizhny Novgorod, right?
Yes, I actually pitched her first. She was like first person who write the check to us, and she helped us to build the MVP. And then her friend Jessica Kahavati, Miss Australia, she eventually she's a lawyer in the background. She said, "Well, guys, this is exactly what I was thinking for a long time."
Miss Australia is a lawyer too.
Yes, and we have another. I can't call him celebrity, but I call him a guy who managed celebrities. Matthew Freud, who's a grandson of Sigmund Freud.
Wow!
And
you got quite a team there. So
yeah,
I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, and to my audience here, thank you again for attending another episode of GSD Presents Silicon Valley AI and Tech. And I'm your host, Gary Fowler. Stay happy, stay safe, and stay healthy. And I'll be back again Thursday with another episode. Thanks, Araz. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.